Hello everyone, good morning. Today I wish to speak on the topic understanding Sanskrit or Sanskritam, going beyond Panini. The context is recent news items that have been in the media about an Indian PhD student at Cambridge University who has broken through in understanding one particular sutra of Panini which has long been misunderstood. This being an academic work, of course, it will be peer-reviewed and there will be, counter-arguments. But the main point is that there is undoubtedly great interest in seeing whether Sanskritam is the paradigm for a machine-implementable natural language for computers. The earliest notice regarding Panini's work came from an American computer scientist by the name of Rick Briggs from NASA. He published a paper linking Sanskrit and knowledge representation in artificial intelligence. And I remember seeing this paper in 1985 when it first came out. Who exactly is Panini and why this great interest in his work? Panini was an ancient Sanskrit grammarian who lived about 2,500 years ago in India. I have explained in a previous video that the very word Sanskritam means perfectly created language. Panini recognized that the rules of grammar in Sanskrit are extremely rigorous, exhaustive, and complete. Panini, a great linguist in any sense, then set about and created a set of nearly 4,000 rules, according to which the Sanskrit dhatus can be combined to make all possible sentences in Sanskrit. This is not a task that can be achieved in any other language. In this regard, I would like to mention just one point, which is that the role of language in the Vedic worldview and in the modern Western materialistic worldview are very different and in fact entirely opposite. Modern scientific and materialistic worldview gives an evolutionary account of the origin of the world. And in this view, language is a late entrant which appears after the human beings evolved. Materialistic history of the universe begins with the fabled Big Bang, which is said to have occurred about 13 billion years ago out of a mathematical singularity that is visualized as a infinitely small point of high density and pressure and heat. Out of this big bang comes matter and antimatter. They mostly annihilate each other, producing the cosmic background microwave radiation. And whatever matter remains, then is, the laws of nature take over. Then you have, the formation of the fundamental particles, and then the atoms, inorganic chemicals, then organic chemicals, and the appearance of the first single cell life. And then Darwinian evolution takes over. We have, fish and frogs and birds and monkeys, and eventually human beings. Human beings then evolve language. In this way, the Western materialistic scientific worldview tries to understand language entirely in materialistic terms. But in the Vedic tradition, the language, specifically Sanskritam, existed prior to material creation. For example, we see in the Srimad Bhagavatam that Lord Brahma was given a hint by Lord Krishna on how to commence creation of the universe by first performing tapa. Brahma hears the word tapa, and that in Sanskrit means, performing penance. Later, when Brahma began the material creation, all the letters of the alphabet and the dhatus came from Brahma, along with other ingredients required for material creation. Therefore, the Sanskritam is actually an integral part of the creation of the world. The Old Testament also begins by saying, in the beginning there was the Word, and the Word was with God. And it is commonplace knowledge amongst Hindus that the material creation sprang forth from the word Om. And Vedas also say, Shabdat Anavriti, that because this material creation came out of Shabda or sound, which is meaningful sound and therefore language, one can also get out of this material creation by sound, specifically chanting the transcendental sound vibration, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. How do the sounds of Sanskrit help to create the world? How can they? Showing that this is a science in the strictest sense of the word science in modern times has been my lifetime work. I'll talk more about this in the future installments of this video blog. To conclude this presentation, the origin and nature of language is understood entirely differently in the Western materialistic tradition and in the Vedic theistic tradition. The work of Panini is undoubtedly great and is very compatible with modern science and its underlying worldview of materialism and naturalism. But if we want to truly understand the nature of Sanskrit language and its relevance to the world in which we live, then we would have to actually understand the process of creation of the material world as given in the Vedic literatures scientifically. Thank you.